Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
One family is enough. We don't need anybody else to go through this.
Right now on News 6, 1 week after a man dies riding a coaster at Epic Universe, his family shares their grief as their lawyer makes some bold claims about Universal.
Just because it didn't malfunction does not believe that there were not safety issues. Universal Studios, you have to make this right.
New at 10, we ask a legal expert, a man who builds coasters, and a doctor to break down the family's claims.
And we're also tracking Tropical Storm Umberto. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas has the latest word on where it is headed and about that other wave out in the Atlantic.
Plus, switchy Wednesdays at a local school, the messages about spells and tarot cards that has parents and a religious group upset.
But we start now at 10 tonight with team coverage of the latest in the Epic Universe death investigation. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Thank you for joining us.
Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. So tonight marks 1 week since the tragedy struck. Today, the family of the man killed spoke out for the first time.
We shared and did everything together, including our birthdays. His birthday was only 2 days before mine. Birthdays are no longer going to be the same.
The family says Kevin Rodriguez Zavala graduated with a bachelor's degree in video game design, and he loved amusement parks, having gone on roller coasters countless times before. The family is understandably devastated, and they've hired high-power attorneys to get answers.
Today, attorney Ben Crump made some strong statements about what happened to Rodriguez Zavala. Your Orange County community correspondent Mike Valenti was there.
Kevin was real. He was loved. And he mattered.
Attorney Ben Crump pointed to the medical examiner's note that Kevin died of multiple blunt impact injuries when he underscored his claim that Kevin's spinal injury had nothing to do with his death.
This night, he was fine. He had no medical issues, nothing.
Our investigation so far has confirmed that Kevin suffered repeated head injuries during the ride and was unconscious for the majority of the duration of the ride.
Universal Studios, you have to make this right.
As they push to see the autopsy results and any available video footage, Crump and his co-counsel are talking to witnesses and consulting with amusement park experts who, according to the attorneys, have started exploring a working theory of what might have happened.
That is their concern, that the restraints were the issue. But we will find out, hopefully, we will find out more.
The attorneys also claim that team members never said anything to Kevin about any restrictions before he and his girlfriend got on the ride. The president and COO of Universal Orlando Resort said in a letter this week to staff that the ride functioned as intended, that the equipment was intact, and that team members followed procedures.
Just because it didn't malfunction does not believe that there were not safety issues.
I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
So after those strong statements from Ben Crump, we are still left with so many unanswered questions.
Yeah, should Rodriguez Zavala have been allowed to ride Stardust Racers? How safe are those coasters? And does Crump and the family have a legal case? News 6 community correspondent Troy Campbell is pressing to get answers.
With so many variables surrounding the death, we spoke to an attorney, a physician, and a roller coaster installer to get their insight on the situation.
When you look at theme parks, they have, when we talk about negligence, the theme parks have a higher standard of negligence.
Orlando attorney Eloise Pino says attorney Ben Crump and the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala have a strong case against Universal following his death while riding the Stardust Racers coaster, and says the ride should remain closed for now.
It would be extremely reckless to reopen it without finding out what actually happened. Was it when he was secured improperly? But based on the tests that I've seen, everything operated smoothly. So I don't think that it was an employee that sat him down incorrectly. I more so think that the incorrect tests were done, and obviously it's oversight, design oversight, or safety warning oversight.
How important safety is for
when designing a roller coaster?
I mean, safety is number one for every single manufacturer that is out there.
Daniel Lavelle is a roller coaster installer. He tells me every aspect of a new ride is tested thoroughly, even before construction starts.
Stardust Racers, what would you say is some of even the testing that goes into it before it's open to the public?
I mean, testing goes on even when they're starting to design the ride. They'll do different parameters to make sure that the G-forces are in check.
What is the difference between a back condition and a spinal cord condition?
Now, spinal cord injuries involve direct trauma to the spinal cord itself, which is the bundle of nerves that carries signals between the brain and the body.
Emergency medicine physician Dr. Rajiv Bal tells me people with physical limitations can safely ride many types of roller coasters, depending on their personal condition.
It's common for people to, if they're in a wheelchair, to be able to ride on roller coasters, correct?
Correct. So people who are in wheelchairs, people with underlying conditions, whether it's paralysis, cerebral palsy, and the like, are able to ride roller coasters.
He says at this point, it's unclear just how Rodriguez Zavala was killed.
Was it because he had passed out and then his body was thrashing around, therefore causing multiple blunt force injuries? Or did the blunt force injuries cause him to pass out and eventually die?
And as of now, Stardust Racers is still closed. Universal has not said when it will reopen. Outside Epic Universe, I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
And today we learned the funeral for Rodriguez Zavala is now set for Friday morning in Kissimmee. The family does have a GoFundMe page set up for people looking to help. And we have that link and our extensive coverage of the death at Universal, including a timeline of the events. Just head to clickorlando.com or download the free WKMG News 6 app.
Another big story, one of those twin waves in the Atlantic has gained some strength. Earlier today, the National Hurricane Center announced Tropical Storm Humberto has formed.
That's right, yeah. And this is the one that's the further one back out into the oceans. This is the one we don't think is going to come anywhere close to Florida. That one should button hook around Bermuda. But what it will have the potential to do is impact where the other one goes a little bit. They might do a little dance when we get into the early stages of next week, and that's going to impact what the Caribbean wave does. So there's the latest on Humberto. Again, a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm. And again, this one is staying far away from the United States, but it could impact the thunderstorm action that's popping just south of Puerto Rico tonight. That's the wave that we're watching a little more on the close side here. There's the latest track. We'll get another one at 11 o'clock. Slow moving over the next few days, and it speeds up a little bit and strengthens as it goes around Bermuda. Should miss Bermuda to the west for the most part and then work its way back up into the North Atlantic. Again, the main concern would be what does it do to the steering of this guy right here? I guess it does get a name. It would be a girl. Imelda is the next name on the list. But there's the development zone there. Again, a little too close for comfort. Cautiously optimistic this stays off of our shores. But again, watching because the degree of uncertainty is much higher than usual when it comes to these things. We'll talk much more about the local forecast with more storms coming our way, coming up at about 10:19.
Jonathan, thank you. An update to a breaking story we've been following since News 6 at 4. The southbound lanes of the Florida Turnpike remain closed in the Claremont area because of a deadly crash. The crash happened just before 4 this afternoon. Hours later, the cars that collided are a construction truck, a Hyundai, and a Dodge Charger. It's not yet clear who died or how the other drivers are doing. The southbound lanes of the Turnpike may not reopen for several more hours.
New at 10 tonight, a former student is under arrest for threatening to carry out a mass shooting at a school in Ocala. And we're not talking about a teen. The person in question is a 30-year-old woman. Today, Ocala police told us that after getting tipped off about a threatening Facebook post at Meadowbrook, targeting Meadowbrook Academy, officers were immediately dispatched to campus as a precaution. Detectives say they later found several other alarming posts on the woman's social media account that elevated police concern.
A lot of people are talking about this one on clickorlando.com. A video shared with students declaring Witchy Wednesdays at West Orange High School. It prompted a Christian parents group to threaten Orange County schools with legal action. In a release, the group, Liberty Counsel, said the series aired with the morning announcements and students produced it. The group said it included spells, magic, and discussing moon phases. We spoke to them about the demand letter earlier today.
We raised concerns, constitutional issues. We asked that those that wanted to opt out be allowed to opt out, and also that those who wanted a opposite viewpoint to be able to have the opportunity for students to do the same thing, but from a different viewpoint.
After asking for a response from the district, school leaders told them that segment has been discontinued.
Overcrowded and overused.
The shelter is used 24/7 all the time at that high level capacity. So as you can imagine, things break down.
Seminole County's animal shelter has a list of needs. We're looking into how they plan to fix them and why they say now is the time to do it.
This couple is banned from selling hot tubs in Florida following dozens of consumer complaints. So why did our News 6 cameras capture video of them frequenting this warehouse here where hot tubs are being sold on Facebook Marketplace?
Investigator Mike DeForest has that story next. You're watching News 6 at 10. We are live on a Wednesday night. We're covering Tavares, the Villages, and all of Central Florida. Well, this Volusia County couple you're about to meet was accused of ripping off customers by selling defective and leaky hot tubs. Following a News 6 investigation, the state of Florida permanently banned them from selling hot tubs.
But are they violating that court order? News 6 investigator Mike DeForest captured exclusive video, and it is raising some new questions.
This is Dylan Placker, and this is the truck Dylan Placker often drives. Our News 6 cameras recently captured this video of him pulling an empty trailer away from this Volusia County warehouse where several hot tubs are stored outside. When Placker returned hours later, there was something on the trailer. It was another hot tub. We do not know why Placker brought the hot tub here, And we don't know why his wife, Chelsea, joined him. What we do know is the couple is banned from selling hot tubs like this one in the state of Florida. They're not even allowed to be working on hot tubs.
I'm angry.
3 years ago, I began hearing from customers who say the Plackers sold them defective and leaky hot tubs on Facebook Marketplace. So the water just gushed out of this and onto the deck?
Yes, loads of it.
Following my News 6 investigation, Florida's Attorney General sued the Plackers for deceptive and unfair trade practices. The couple later settled that lawsuit and are now banned from working with or for any person or business that offers, sells, repairs, refurbishes, cleans, warrants, constructs, or otherwise provides any hot tub or spa. That's why this video of the Plackers is raising new questions. We've witnessed them at this warehouse several times. Besides the hot tubs outside, looking through the window, we could see even more, including this one. I found the same model being sold on Facebook Marketplace by someone using the name Ronaldo Kelp. Another Facebook Marketplace account, Sabrina Thompson, sold this hot tub. Surveillance video shows it being delivered to the buyer's home on the same trailer we saw Placker towing. After these delivery men unloaded the hot tub and left, the buyer, Regel Forte, wrote this one-star review saying the item was not functioning and is leaking. The Plackers, seen here on a boat, originally told Florida's Attorney General they could not afford to pay back everything owed to their former customers. So the couple agreed to pay about $10,000 and promised to stay out of the hot tub business. If a judge finds the Plackers violated that agreement, the state can collect nearly $500,000 from them, possibly by seizing any boats, trucks, trailers, or other belongings they may own. Hi, Mr. Placker. Before getting abruptly disconnected, the Plackers denied ever visiting this warehouse, telling me, quote, "We are no longer in business." Just hours after that phone call, the boat we saw the Plackers using was put up for sale, priced to sell fast at $16K, on a Facebook Marketplace account that also happens to sell hot tubs. I've asked Florida's Attorney General if the Plackers' activity at this warehouse here may violate the settlement agreement that the couple signed. I have not yet received a response. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Well, across Central Florida, animal shelters are struggling to do more with less, and overcrowding isn't their only challenge.
Your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver takes us inside the shelter there.
This is a final project.
Staff at Seminole County's Animal Services stay busy caring for the hundreds of pets that come through these doors.
We have almost 230 cats and dogs together.
And that's just today.
That's every day.
Division Manager Chris Stronko led us around the facility. This shelter operates at 130% capacity on average. There's an urgent need to find homes. There's also a need for other improvements.
The aging guillotine door systems.
The shelter isn't just overcrowded.
The whole thing is rotten. And this is because of the amount of bleach and chemicals we use in the facility.
It's overused.
A very big generator powers all this just so we can provide air conditioning.
How much are we spending just to run that HVAC system?
For our temporary air conditioning, it's almost $200,000 a year.
Alan Harris is the county's emergency manager. He oversees animal services.
The complex was never built for air conditions because back in the day, fans did the trick. It doesn't do the trick anymore. For us to bring in regular air conditioners and install that, it means a complete electrical redo of our system.
With a new budget kicking in and a new property tax hike, there is talk of renovating this facility. The last time it was refurbished was in 2007 after a fire 18 years ago.
The building that we have for adoptions and administration is old, so that's obviously going to take a little bit longer than maybe the air conditioning and electrical.
Harris says it won't be done tomorrow.
365 days a year of use.
But it will be sooner rather than later.
It takes its toll on stuff.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
All right, you feel for them, $200,000 to run the AC, but this is not, you can't live in Florida without having
whatever
AC.
you have to pay.
Exactly. All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. And Jonathan, it looks like you have a little bit on the radar behind you.
Just a little bit. Couple of downpours just hanging out, mainly in Marion County. That's fizzling out as it kind of drifts off to the north and east. The green stuff you see right here, that's just some ground clutter that we typically get at this time of the night with the what we call temperature inversion setting in. Nonetheless, we are nice and quiet for the most part tonight. Future radar doing a nice job picking up on those stray downpours, though, for the remainder of the evening. Now, once we get into tomorrow, I do think we increase our storm chances late into the afternoon and through your evening. There's 1 o'clock with those scattered downpours. You can track those downpours as they get going tomorrow by downloading the free News 6 weather app. There's lightning detection all built into that, and it's, of course, all free. 5, 6 o'clock for you, there's the I-95 corridor with those scattered thunderstorms getting going. Same deal along I-75. Things come together. I think this is going to be a little more filled in when we're tracking these storms tomorrow from the evening and into the latter stages of the evening. I think we are going to see things a little more rocking than what future radar shows. I think the timeline is pretty good, though. There's 4 to 5 o'clock on your Friday morning. Scattered thunderstorms, again, going to be long gone by that point. Tomorrow afternoon, rain chances back up to 60% again, mainly later in the day, as I showed you there. We're at 93, though, in Mount Dora. The humidity surging back. We're at 93 in Holopaw, also 93 degrees in Wildwood, Palm Coast. Good evening. We are back to 91 degrees. Maitland and Winter Park tomorrow, we're talking a nice muggy start. We're back to 76 degrees, pushing 80 by 9, 86 degrees by 11, back to the lower 90s again into the afternoon. Again, onto the tropical front. Again, Umberto was out there. That is no concern for us. May impact, again, the steering currents and just how the track evolves from this blob of thunderstorm activity now south of Puerto Rico. Again, heavy rain going to be expected for Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and into the Dominican Republic over the next few days. Then the conditions are expected to become favorable as it lifts above the Greater Antilles back into the southwest Atlantic towards the Bahamas. Latest modeling on 94L, that's the Invest tag that the Hurricane Center gives it so they can run their hurricane models. You see most of them take it through the Dominican Republic, back to the Turks and Caicos, into the Bahamas, and then most of these are going to want to keep it off the Florida coast. Obviously, that's what we want here. There are a few that try to get it a little bit too close for comfort. Again, there's going to be the tug of war between the two systems, so it's a little too early to call if that's going to be the case or not, but still cautiously optimistic that it gets close but stays offshore as it starts to form once it gets towards the Bahamas late into the weekend. 60% shot for storms tomorrow, especially late in the day. We'll keep that 60% rain chance rolling right on through Friday. Rain chance is staying elevated into the weekend as well. They're going to go down a little bit as we get into the early stages of next week, but a lot is going to depend upon what exactly happens with that system we're tracking in the Caribbean, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, they are making sure part of natural Florida remains just that. Next, how one local preserve is building a new way for you to see the wild side of the Sunshine State.
Florida adds more than 1,000 new residents every day, putting pressure on open land and wild spaces.
So we're over in a scrubby flatwoods area. You have all kinds of longleaf pine above you. We have all kinds of wildlife out here that uses these habitats.
But a new project is preserving what makes the Sunshine State special.
We couldn't be more excited to be offering a $2.5 million investment here to the local community of a nature center that's coming on D Ranch Preserve.
The Nature Center will be built at the D Ranch Preserve in Osteen, home to cattle, gopher tortoises, and donkeys. The 476-acre property has been protected since 2019.
And so next to Beautyberry, you can also see a little tree frog over on our native grapevine.
Look at him! The center will feature classrooms, exhibits, offices, and a wraparound porch with a view of Florida's landscape.
Since we opened the property to the public, through the gates we had all kinds of the local community come and join us. There's been hikers and bird watchers and photographers and all kinds of families coming out to enjoy the property.
The $2.5 million project still needs to raise another $400,000, with the foundation matching all donations through the end of the year.
What we try to do here at D Ranch Preserve and with the Nature Center is bring conservation and community together. And so that's our biggest achievement. We're going to provide educational programs, volunteer events, and all kinds of community engagement throughout this whole area.
Construction is expected to begin in 2026, with doors opening in 2027. Community members can donate online at conservationfla.org/Nature Center. In Osteen, I'm your Volusia County Community Correspondent, Angie Casada, News 6.
Thank you so much for joining us. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
Free to download to your smart TV, streaming device. Have a good night.